I mean, listening to you, I'm being educated beyond, but you said that you voted for Biden. And I assume you didn't do that lightly.
Well, I didn't have a choice.
Okay, well, that's what I wanted to ask you, is that why do you feel like your back was against the wall, like if you didn't have a choice, to put it in Putin terms?
Frankly,
and then what did you expect from him, and what grade would you, I guess, give him now?
I'm a sucker for believing. I'm an optimist, and I believe that he reached a certain age, 78, that he's a little more mature and that he sees the bigger picture. And in this case, Ukraine, he's making a big mistake. A big mistake. He thinks he's off the hook. He looks like the good guy now with all this anti-Russian thing. But when we get to a deeper place, which is where it's going to go, and this thing gets harder and harder for Americans, and there might be, we're not past any war yet. The war could expand. That certainly Zelensky would like the war to expand because he would sacrifice the world in order to save Ukraine. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about, he sees this whole thing as a crusade, as a jihad. Biden has given him the go-ahead to do this. Biden is the one who should be calming this situation down. He should be speaking to Putin, speaking to Zelensky, calming it down, being a statesman instead of an ideologue. This is a time for a Kennedy. This is a time, that's what Kennedy did with Khrushchev. This is a time for a statesman, like a Charles de Gaulle, somebody who really has a picture of the world. I was hoping Macron of France could have some effect, but you can't get through the Ukrainian-U.S. connection. That's the problem.
But beyond Ukraine, I mean, what's happening?
There's no beyond Ukraine right now because it's stuck there. There's a disconnect. The Americans see Russia as an evil, and they don't understand the Russian position, which is crazy. Why can't a statesman understand what Russia is thinking? Putin is fighting for his life. You can get rid of him, but whoever takes his place will probably be tougher because they know that they're up against it. Okay, let them give up. Let's say, okay, give up. So what do you do if you want to give up? All right, then you put NATO into Ukraine, put missiles into Ukraine. Fine, you can put them right on our border. We'll take all the refugees you can give us, and there'll be another confrontation when you make your next move.
And one of the things you often hear, though, is, well, this would be different under Trump. Nothing happened with Ukraine and Russia under Trump.
That's not true. That's not true at all. Trump, on the contrary, is a very strange guy. He was making sounds about Putin when he came in, and I was hoping that there'd be some détente. But as he got more and more pressure for his Russiagate, which was a joke, but it was a serious accusation. That was, of course, political, too, putting pressure on Trump, not allowing him to get anything done with this pressure from Russiagate for, 2 years? That was insane, that he was a Russian agent, all that stuff. No one, I mean, if you were thinking, it was so ridiculous. And I asked Putin about that, too, and Putin practically laughed. He knows that it's not possible. But they pictured Trump as a tool, as a Manchurian candidate or something. As a result, he became very anti-Russian, too, in the sense that he was passed every single sanction against Russia that was put onto him by Congress. You check his record on Russia. He did everything they wanted. And then recently, I saw yesterday or 2 days ago, one of his comments, which was insane. He said he's not a coward like Biden. Something like Biden is a weakling, something like that, implying that he would be much tougher, which means what? War, nuclear war, to my mind.
Last thing before we wrap up here. So you said that the right thing to do right now for Biden is to be a statesman. To be a statesman. Right thing for him to do right now is to be a statesman, reach out to Putin, have a meeting with him, sit down, have that conversation.
Well, he also has to he has to deal with Ukrainian, and he has to deal with the neo-Nazi issue. He's got to deal with the Ukraine administration, the way that country is run. I think if we could reach a deal where they could split East and West, it would, but it's very hard to do that.